Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my first impressions of Disney World. So some of the things to go along with my first impressions of Disney World, I'm going to get into what I loved about Disney World, what I hated about Disney World, what would I do differently for my next trip, all those sort of questions, and then I'm also going to get into my outfits, how I chose my outfits, how I put them together, and why. This was a requested video by one of you guys, so I definitely wanted to go ahead and knock this video out for you guys and answer some of your guys' questions. So that's basically it. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. So if you would like to hear my first impression thoughts on Disney World, then just keep on watching. So me and my fiance went to Disney World in August of 2016. That was my very first time at Disney World. If you guys didn't know already, I am a huge Disney fan. I have been my entire life, so going to Disney World was a huge deal for me. I've been wanting to go to Disney World all my life, so to finally be able to go and be a big girl and pay for the trip myself was a huge deal. I'm pretty sure my fiance has been before, but I'm pretty sure the last time he went, he was like a little kid. So I don't even think he like remembered it all that much. So I guess as like adults and like being able to like remember our trip, it was kind of both of our first times. Some of the reasons why we chose Disney World over Disneyland, I mean, in my opinion, I definitely would like to go to Disneyland sometime in my life, but I think that what kind of influenced our choice to go with Disney World compared to Disneyland is, well, one, like the flights. Like, I guess Disney World technically is closer to us, but I think the main reason why we chose Disney World is because just going off of other people's opinions and even my fiance's opinions, we've heard that Disney World is just one of those more like updated parks. And I feel like a majority of people would say, like the majority of people that have been to both Disney World and Disneyland, they say that Disney World is a lot better. Like I said, it's like more updated and things like that. So that's just kind of why we decided on Disney World. Also, like I just said, I definitely would like to go to Disneyland one day, but at the time I didn't really care. I just really wanted to go to some sort of Disney park. So I really didn't care if it was Disney World or Disneyland. I was just so excited to go to Disney. And I guess another itsy bitsy thing that kind of influenced our decision is because I've never been on a plane before. I was like at the point, because I've never been on a plane before and I've always kind of had a fear of flying, like I literally wanted to like drive to Disney World, but my fiance was like, absolutely not, like we're flying, like it's safe, you'll be fine. So going with the shorter flight, I think it was like around 3-ish hours, probably a little bit less, to go to Florida, when I think going out to like California is more of like a 6-hour plane ride, somewhere around there, like if you're going like straight there and you don't have any stops in between. So yeah, in my opinion, a shorter plane ride was the better option. But yeah, to kind of go over our entire trip, like some of the things we did, how long we went there, or how long we stayed there, I guess I should say. So we ended up leaving and getting to Florida August 13th, which I believe was a Saturday. We had a pretty early flight, so we got to Florida in the morning, and that day we pretty much just got like checked into our hotel. You know, we did a little bit of walking around. We went out to dinner. Like, we didn't really do too much that day. We just kind of got like settled in and just kind of relaxed from our morning of traveling. And then the next day, August 14th, which was a Sunday, we went to our very first Disney park, which was Animal Kingdom. So in total, we spent 4 days at the park. We dedicated one park to one day. So like I just said, we went on the Sunday. The next day we went to Animal Kingdom. On Monday, August 15th, we went to Magic Kingdom. Tuesday, August 16th, we went to Hollywood Studios, I'm pretty sure. And then our fourth and final day, which was a Wednesday, August 17th, we went to Epcot. I hope I got those days and dates matched up correctly. So we spent those 4 days at each of the Disney parks, and then we ended up leaving early in the morning on Thursday, August 18th. And then we flew home, and that was our trip. So as you guys probably could have guessed it, waking up August 14th that morning, being that was the very first day that we were going to go to Disney World, I was super excited. I mean, going into this trip, I was the most excited for Magic Kingdom because I really wanted to see like the Cinderella Castle, and that was just the park that I was just the most excited for and I was looking the most forward to. But At this point, I was just so excited to be at Disney World and to be in Florida. Like, I was excited to see all the parks and just experience all for the very first time. So I was so excited waking up that morning, and I was pretty much awake at like 7 o'clock every morning. And I'm not a morning person, but like every single morning my alarm went off, and even before my alarm went off, I was just so excited. I jumped right out of bed, and like I really wasn't that tired, which is great, not being a morning person, because I was just so excited. And I really just wanted to go to the parks right away. And also going into this trip without, you know, going to any of the parks, the park that I was the least excited about was Epcot, just because it just didn't seem that interesting to me, just because like I feel like I'm like a child at heart, and like to me like Epcot is more of like an adult park, and I also wasn't as excited for it, but just because I wasn't really familiar with it. I didn't really know what to expect. I know it had like things dealing with around the world and like cultural things, which I thought that was interesting, but like I just didn't really know a lot about it. So yeah, definitely going into this trip, before we went to any of the parks, I was the most excited for Magic Kingdom, and I was the least excited for Epcot. So now I'm going to get into the things that I loved about our trip, what I loved about Disney World, and also get into some of my favorite rides from each of the parks. So some of the things that I loved about Disney World, I'm kind of just going to go from like park to park. So for our first day at Disney World, like I said, we went to Animal Kingdom, and I want to say my favorite thing from Animal Kingdom was the Lion King show. Oh, and also like I completely forgot to mention this, I vlogged our whole Disney trip and even like a little before. So if you haven't seen that vlog, I will definitely link that down in the description box. That way you can kind of see like some of the rides I'm talking about and some of the things that I really liked about Disney World, and just kind of get a whole experience the trip with us. So yeah, definitely make sure to check that video out if you haven't already. But yeah, anyways, I did vlog a little bit of the Lion King show. Like that was just like such a cool show. Like I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. And like I know that's not necessarily considered a ride. I'm not really big into rides. Like I'm not a big fan of roller coasters, so I'm probably not gonna really mention like those kind of great rides in this video like as being my favorite rides, but my favorite rides or shows or things that we participated in the parks, the Lion King show is definitely one of my favorite rides or attractions that we went to in Animal Kingdom. And another really cool thing, my favorite ride in Animal Kingdom was the safari ride, which I thought was really cool. It was like an actual safari, and like we drove through like where all the animals were, and we saw like rhinos and giraffes and zebras, I think. Like we just saw all like the wildlife. Like I just thought that was really cool. Now to get into the next park that we went to, which was Magic Kingdom. Some of the things that I loved about Magic Kingdom was obviously the Cinderella Castle. I have always, my entire life, I've always wanted to see the Cinderella Castle in person, so that was definitely like a jaw-dropping, such like an awe moment for me. I mean, it was a little disappointing that there was like a crane. They were doing some sort of like construction, so like you can see like this big crane behind the castle, and you can even see it in the pictures that I'll throw up on the screen for you guys. Like that was a little disappointing. Like I feel like that was a little bit of an eyesore. I kind of wish that wasn't there, but like I was just so excited to be there and like see the castle in person. Like that was awesome. So hands down, that was my favorite thing about Magic Kingdom. Like that was the top thing that I loved about going to Magic Kingdom. And also to add on top of that, to add to my favorite moment from this trip or being in Magic Kingdom, that was actually the spot where my now fiance proposed to me, which I could definitely throw some pictures up as well. Definitely a dream proposal of mine. That was such a cool moment. And I also did film like a whole like story time about the proposal, so if you haven't seen that, I can also link that down in the description box as well. But yeah, everything to do with like the Cinderella Castle and being proposed to in front of the Cinderella Castle was just amazing. Another thing that I really liked about the Magic Kingdom is we ate at the Be Our Guest restaurant, which was definitely on my bucket list. That was the one restaurant that I really wanted to go to when we went to the parks, and we knew it was really busy. Like we tried to like get, I think we tried to get like reservations online, and they were completely booked. So that was like a little disappointing, and I just kind of accepted that we weren't going to be able to eat there. But when we were at Magic Kingdom, we just happened to be walking past the restaurant, And my fiance, he was just like, you know what, let's just ask. Maybe there's a table open sometime during the day so we can go ahead and eat there. So I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, there's no harm in asking. So we went up to the hostess and we asked if there was any way that they could fit in 2 more people sometime during that day. And he looked at his like little booklet thing and he said, well, actually we can get you guys in right now. And I mean, I feel like we weren't really hungry at that moment, but like I really wanted to eat there. So we were like, sure, like let's have a quick random lunch. So we were able to eat at the Be Our Guest restaurant. Something I've noticed, I guess this could kind of fall under the what I hated category, but since we're already on the topic of restaurants, I'm just gonna mention it now. We ate at, I can't remember all the names, but I know like we ate at least one restaurant at each of the parks. Not really pertaining to the Rainforest Cafe. We ate at the Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom. I feel like they had pretty good food options, but I feel like for the other restaurants we went to, I feel like they didn't really have a lot of great food options, and that just made me think of that because at the Be Our Guest restaurant, I feel like there was only like 3 to 5 options, and like, I don't know. I'm not really a picky eater. I love food, so I really will eat anything and everything, but like, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like the restaurants aren't really accommodating. Like, I feel like they're already expensive, and they're already hard to get into because they're reservations, and it's always a full house, but like, yeah, I just wasn't expecting that, and that was a little disappointing. You know, I feel like if you were like really craving a certain food, you're more than likely not going to get it because they only have like a few items on their menu. So that was a little weird. That wasn't really something I expected, and I guess like that's something I could definitely put under the what I hated about Disney World. But yeah, like I said, we only ate at one restaurant at each of the parks, and like I said, for the Rainforest Cafe, I feel like that was like a normal restaurant where they had like a full menu and you could choose from a variety of different foods. But yeah, from a couple of the restaurants we went to, that's just something that I noticed. I don't know if all of the restaurants are like that, but yeah, I just thought that was really weird. But either way, I was just happy that we were able to get into the Be Our Guest restaurant and eat there. So yes, now to move on to my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom. And the one that really stood out to me and the one that first popped into my head when I was thinking about what my favorite rides were from Disney World, and it was definitely the like the slow ride, the like slow Little Mermaid ride, which I also did vlog a little bit of that and put that in my Disney World vlog. I don't know, I just really liked that ride. I really liked a lot of the like more slower rides where you just kind of sit down and it takes you through like some of the scenes in the movies and you hear like the music, and I don't know, I just really liked those rides. So that was definitely one of the rides that really stood out to me from Magic Kingdom. Now, the next park that we went to was Hollywood Studios, and the things that really stood out to me that I loved about Hollywood Studios is I loved all of the different like shops and like museum type things that they had there. Like, I'm pretty sure at that park, and I did include this all in my vlog too, we went to like this like Star Wars type museum type thing that was set up. We went to oh, one of my favorites, we went to like more of like a Walt Disney type building or museum, whatever you want to call it, and it basically just talked about like how they made their movies and just kind of about Walt Disney and, you know, the storylines and all of the different like drawings and making of some of my favorite Disney movies. I just thought that was so cool. And some of my favorite rides that were at Hollywood Studios, one was a show, and it was like a live play of Beauty and the Beast, which obviously just kind of went throughout the whole movie, but yeah, it was just kind of like a quick Beauty and the Beast story. I just thought that was really cool, and of course I love the music. I love Beauty and the Beast, so that was really awesome. I did include that in my vlog as well. And another ride that I absolutely loved that I included in my Disney vlog was the Greatest Movie Ride. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and I'm someone that like, I love like classic old-time movies, and that's kind of what this ride was. It was another one of those like more slow moving rides, and it just took you to all of these different setups of some of the greatest movies that were ever made. So it included like Mary Poppins and Singing in the Rain and Casablanca and The Wizard of Oz. Like, that was just an awesome ride, and I feel like I've heard that they don't have that ride anymore, which makes me so sad because I absolutely loved that ride. And last but not least, to move on to Epcot, some of the things that I really loved about Epcot was just mainly the architecture of all the buildings. Like I said, Epcot's more of like the around the world, where they have different setups of different countries, and they like obviously related to the culture of the country that you were in. Like I just thought that was really cool. I feel like at Epcot we didn't really take advantage of it as much as we probably should have. I think a big reason for that is because Epcot was the last park that we went to, and we went to the parks like back to back, like day to day, and we spent like all day at the parks pretty much from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I feel like by the time we got to Epcot, like that was our last day. Like we were exhausted, it was hot out, but like I feel like at that point, like I was still excited to be there, but even I was starting to feel like this. But like I just feel like me and my fiance, we were just ready to go home. Like we were just tired. So I feel like we didn't really get to take advantage of all the different countries that they had there, and we really didn't go on any rides. The one ride that definitely stands out to me that I would consider my favorite ride from Epcot, I don't remember the name of it, but it's that ride that's in like the big globe in Epcot. Like I just thought that was kind of cool how like it's one of those another one of those like slow moving rides, and you basically just like move up the globe and then you like move back down, and it basically just goes over like life and how we've gotten here today. Like it starts with like cavemen and it like moves its way up. Like it's just kind of like a big like timeline type ride. I hope that's how I'm remembering it correctly. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool, and that really was, I mean, I think we did a couple, like one other ride, and I think we went to like a show or two, but yeah, the one that definitely stands out to me when I think of Epcot was definitely that globe ride. And last but not least, to finish off what I loved about Disney World, I definitely wanted to put my parks, I guess they're not my parks, but I wanted to put the parks in order of like what was my top favorite and then work my way down. So of course, after experiencing all the parks, my very top favorite was, no surprise to me, was Magic Kingdom. I absolutely loved Magic Kingdom. My second favorite park was Animal Kingdom. My third favorite park was Hollywood Studios, and then my fourth favorite park was Epcot. Now I'm going to kind of get into what I hated. Maybe I probably shouldn't say hated, because like I feel like that's too strong of a word, and like I feel like no matter what, I love Disney World. So like some of the things that weren't really like jamming with, some of the things I kind of disliked about Disney World, I kind of already touched on the restaurants, like not having a lot of food options, which I mean, like I said, I'm a huge food lover. I'll eat anything and everything, so to me that wasn't like a huge deal, but that was just something that I noticed and I thought was a little interesting and wasn't really a fan of. So that was something I already touched on. But some of the other things was definitely, which you probably could have guessed it, I did not like how crowded the parks were, and especially Magic Kingdom. And this is something I'm definitely going to touch on once we get to like what I would do differently for our next Disney trip. But I feel like you definitely can't conquer Magic Kingdom in one day. We tried to, but I feel like we didn't really get to take advantage of most or all of the parks just because it was so busy, and I feel like we really couldn't ride as many rides because it was just so busy. And we actually went at a time where school was back in session, and we stopped at this little like cart where they were selling ice creams, and the guy that was selling the ice cream, he made a comment like he couldn't believe how dead it was, like at the park, like he couldn't believe like how empty the park was. And I was like, are you serious? Like it is so busy here. But he said, yeah, like now that school's back in session, it's not even anywhere near busy than how it usually is. And that just like totally surprised me. Like I already thought it was so busy, like it was hard to move around. Like, oh, you want to go on that ride? Well, you're going to be waiting 3-4 hours. Like I thought it was insanely busy. So I can't even imagine what it would be like to go to Magic Kingdom when, you know, kids are on like summer or winter breaks, or like even on the weekends, because like I said, we went to all of our parks mostly in the weekdays. So like, yeah, that was something I was very surprised by that comment that he made. And that was something that, I mean, I guess I kind of expected, but that was something like I was a little shocked by and like obviously wasn't a fan of. And also I do want to mention, we definitely did take advantage of our fast passes. I'm pretty sure, and if you go to the parks you're already familiar with this, but I'm pretty sure you can only sign up for like 3 fast passes at a time. So we definitely took advantage of our fast passes at all of the parks. But going back to Magic Kingdom for how busy it was, like once we got through all of our fast passes, we obviously wanted to sign up for more because it was impossible to wait in line without your fast pass at Magic Kingdom, because every single ride we went to was at least a 2-hour wait. So yeah, once we were like going through our fast passes and we went to sign up for more, like all of the rides that we wanted to go on, and even some that we didn't even like really want to go on, but like we just wanted to go on some sort of ride, like all of the fast passes were unavailable. Like they were like completely filled up. Like it was just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I did want to mention that in this video. We did take advantage of our fast passes, but like specifically Magic Kingdom, it was just so incredibly busy. Like we couldn't even use our fast passes. So yeah, now to get into what I would do differently for our next Disney vacation, which I kind of already touched on, especially for Magic Kingdom, is for our next trip, I would definitely like to spend more days at the parks. There are some of the parks that I feel like we could dedicate one day to. Like I'm pretty sure, for sure, Hollywood Studios we got through in one day. I'm pretty sure we got through a majority of Animal Kingdom in one day, and then I'm thinking, even though we didn't get to really experience Epcot as much as we should have, or now that I'm thinking of it, as much as I wanted to, I feel like we could even get through Epcot in one day, and that's like if you're spending like all day at the parks. But for sure, Magic Kingdom next time, I would like to dedicate at least 2 days for Magic Kingdom, just because of how big it is and how busy that park was. Like it was definitely way more busier at Magic Kingdom compared to any of the other parks. So yeah, definitely for Magic Kingdom, I would like to dedicate at least 2 days for, just so we can ride more of the other rides and get through hopefully the whole park, or at least a majority of the park. Something else that I would do differently, and I've always wanted to do, is for our next trip, I would definitely like to stay within the parks. So for this vacation, we've actually found like a full like bundle deal. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm gonna remember this correctly because Luke was the one that like dealt with all of this, but I'm pretty sure we had like a bundle where we got like our plane tickets and our hotel for like a pretty good price, and it was all bundled together. And the hotel that we were staying at, it was pretty close to the parks, but not only that, but this hotel also offered a shuttle to and from the parks, which was free. We didn't have to pay any extra money for that, so that was really awesome. But I feel like the reason why I would like to stay within the parks is, well, one, I want to experience it. Like I would love to stay in Disney World at one of their hotels. Like I feel like that would be so awesome. It's definitely more on the pricier side, but I feel like it's just all part of the experience. Like that, I wouldn't mind spending that much money to be able to stay in the parks. But also another reason is I feel like in the parks, you always have access. I mean, I could be wrong. So if you're more familiar with this, yeah, that's definitely something I want to ask. Like if you have stayed in the parks and if you have gone to the park, you know, multiple times, and you have any tips and tricks for me, and if I'm saying anything in this video that is incorrect, definitely make sure to leave those comments down below. Give me your tips. Let me know if I'm correct or if I'm incorrect. Please correct me, because this is definitely something I want to do hopefully in the near future. But yeah, anyways, I'm pretty sure if you stay in the parks, you always have access to whether it's like the monorail, and I think there's like a boat you can take, like those type of things. Like they're connected to all the different parks and different hotels, and they're open like all the time, so you can use them from like when the park opens to when the park closes. And I think even after the park closes, because don't they have like certain like passes that you can stay like after closing hours or something like that. So yeah, that's also something that I want to take advantage of, because even though I'm so grateful that our hotel had a shuttle that was free for us to use, the only thing I didn't like about our shuttle is it only had one drop-off time and one pickup time. So it picked us up from our hotel, I think, at like 7:30ish, so we were able to get to the parks by 8 a.m. because I'm pretty sure that's when the parks opened, was at 8 a.m. So yeah, that was the only time it picked us up from our hotel, and then the only time that it picked us up from the park to bring us back to our hotel was at like 5 o'clock or something like that. Which, I mean, it's obviously a long time from 8 to 5 p.m. Like that's a good amount of time at the parks, but I just didn't really like it because, like I said, especially as we got to like Epcot, we got to our like last day at Disney World, like we were just so tired, and I feel like I definitely would like to take advantage of a transportation system that was a little bit more flexible, because I feel like I definitely would have liked to take advantage of, like, go to the parks in the morning, maybe leave around lunchtime. We could, you know, go get some lunch somewhere else that would probably be cheaper, eat that lunch, take a nap, and then go back to the parks more at nighttime so we could experience like the fireworks and all that sort of stuff. But we weren't able to experience that because of our shuttle. And we actually ended up missing our shuttle I think the first day, because we were at Animal Kingdom and we were trying to get back to, I think the pickup location was Hollywood Studios. So we were at Animal Kingdom and we were trying to get back to Hollywood Studios, but the bus that was supposed to pick us up from Animal Kingdom to bring us to Hollywood Studios ended up being a little late. So because of that bus being late, we ended up missing our shuttle. So we had to end up Ubering back to our hotel, which obviously cost money. And then there was another day, which I'm pretty sure was at Hollywood Studios. We went through like the whole park and we were done at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were just kind of like over it. Like, we didn't want to wait the extra few hours to wait for our shuttle. So we ended up Ubering back to our hotel that day. So yeah, that's just definitely something, like, even though the shuttle was nice and it was free, I definitely would like to have something a little bit more flexible. Obviously you can rent a car as well, but one, we actually couldn't because we had to be 25 years old, and me and Luke were only 21 at the time, so like we weren't, no matter what, we weren't able to rent a car. But also renting a car is pretty expensive, so just to stay away from those costs and to kind of have our trip be a little bit more flexible and go to the parks when we want to and go back to our hotel when we want to, I definitely would like to stay within the parks and just take advantage of like their bow and their monorail. And of course I want to experience the fireworks, which again, because the shuttle picked us up at 5 o'clock, we weren't able to stay late enough for the fireworks. Again, we probably could have Ubered, but because we were at the parks at like 8 a.m. and we spent all day there, like we were pretty tired at nighttime, so I don't even think we would be able to stay awake for the fireworks. But yeah, so that's something else that I would definitely do differently for our next trip. All right, so now I'm going to get into how I organized my outfits, and for me it was pretty simple. I feel like the main thing that I did when I was picking out my outfits for each day that we were at the parks is I centered my outfits around my mouse ears. So I'll try to explain this as quickly as I can because pretty much all of this information is in that Disney vlog. So I guess if you want to just watch for yourself or maybe want something a little bit more specific, you can go ahead and check that vlog out for all of that information. But before our trip, I didn't have any Disney or mouse ears, so I went onto the Disney store, like the actual Disney website, I'm pretty sure, and that's where I decided I wanted to purchase my mouse ears from. Originally, I was just going to buy one pair, which was just like the basic Minnie Mouse ears, but once I got on the site, I saw, well, the other ears that really caught my eye, and I was like, yes, I'm definitely buying this, was my Maleficent ears. I absolutely love those, so I had my Minnie Mouse ears and my Maleficent ears in my cart. But then as I was looking at the other ears, I ended up falling in love with 2 more pairs of ears, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna buy all 4 of these mouse ears, which actually ended up being perfect because, like I said, we dedicated 1 day for each park, so that totaled to 4 days, so I was able to wear one of my mouse ears for each day. And then as far as my other clothing, I have a ton of Disney shirts that I got, all of them from Hot Topic, or at least a majority of them from Hot Topic. One of them I'm actually wearing right now, this Lion King shirt I got from Hot Topic, so it was pretty easy for me to pair my shirts with my mouse ears. So I basically tried to match my shirts as closely to my mouse ears as I could. So for obviously my Minnie Mouse ears, I wore my Minnie Mouse shirt. For my Maleficent ears, I wore my Maleficent tank top. And then for my Snow White ears, I wore my Snow White tank top. And then for my Aurora ears at the time, oh no, wait, I did have a like specific Sleeping Beauty shirt, but I wanted to wear something else because I already wore like a Sleeping Beauty Maleficent shirt one of the days. So for my Aurora or Sleeping Beauty ears, I just decided to pair those ears with a tank top that I thought it looked the best with. And so yeah, I ended up picking my Little Mermaid tank top to go with my Aurora ears. And so once I had all of my outfits picked out and I had my ears matched with specific shirts, the next thing that I did is I tried to pair my outfit choices depending on what park we were going to that day. So for our first day, we went to Animal Kingdom and I decided to wear my Maleficent outfit and ears at Animal Kingdom. And the reason why I chose that is because like the Maleficent horns that were on my ears, it just kind of reminded me of like a ram or like some sort of other animal that has like horns. So I just thought that went perfectly. So like the Maleficent horns or animal horns went with Animal Kingdom. For Magic Kingdom, I decided to wear my Minnie Mouse ears and shirt just because I feel like Magic Kingdom is just one of those like classic Disney parks. So I wanted to wear my most like classic outfit since Mickey Mouse was the first character that Walt Disney made. And then as far as my outfits for Hollywood Studios and Epcot, I didn't really match them for any particular reason. I kind of just saved them for like whatever I felt like wearing that day. So I'm pretty sure I wore my Snow White ears and shirt to Hollywood Studios, and then I wore my Little Mermaid and Sleeping Beauty outfit to Epcot. And then some of the other things that I purchased for our trip is I did purchase a couple things from Hot Topic. So one of the things I purchased was a bathing suit. I purchased a Little Mermaid themed bathing suit, which you can see in my Disney vlog as well. I basically just bought that because I knew the hotel we were staying at had a pool, so I just really wanted to be completely themed out, so I just went ahead and bought it. We didn't really go swimming that much. I think we only went swimming like once for like a hot second. But yeah, I just thought, well, since, you know, maybe if we want to go swimming, I'm just gonna get a Disney themed bathing suit to wear for that. So that's what I got. And then the other thing that I got from Hot Topic was an Alice in Wonderland backpack, just because I knew obviously being at the parks there was gonna be a lot of walking around. So I didn't really want to deal with like a purse on one shoulder. Like I feel like after a while purses get really uncomfortable. So I wanted something more simple and more comfortable. So that's why I decided on more of a backpack. So yeah, those are some other things that I bought specifically for our Disney vacation. And then lastly, for my shoes, I didn't really pick for any specific reasons. I don't have any like Disney themed shoes. I don't even know if you'll be able to see the shoes I wore in my vlog. I mean, maybe you will. But I basically just matched some of my more like flat, slip-on, comfortable shoes that were comfortable to walk in. I just kind of matched them to the outfits I was wearing, and that's just kind of how I picked out my shoes. I just, obviously, because we were going to be doing a lot of walking, I didn't want to wear like flip-flops or anything that was gonna, you know, be rubbing uncomfortably and cause blisters. So that's just kind of how I decided on my shoes. And yeah, that's basically how I decided on my Disney outfits, and that's pretty much my full first impressions experience at Disney World. So yeah, everybody, that is it for this video. My first impressions, my full experience at my first time at Disney World. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And definitely please go down in the comments down below if you have any other comments, questions, concerns for me. And I definitely want to hear from you guys' perspective if you've been to Disney World before, even if you've been to Disneyland before, whether you only went once or you went multiple times, if there's any specific tips you have for me, your own experience at the parks, what you loved, what you hated, what you would do differently, or what you think I should do differently. I definitely want to hear your guys' experiences. If you don't want to comment those down below, you can definitely reach me on my social media accounts. Those are linked down in the description box. They are linked in the description box under all of my videos. I would definitely love to hear from you guys. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.